Hello, my hawk shark friends. That's a different one. First up, you're both predators. So highly observant. Of course, so is prey. But before you get all freaked out because they're both predators, it might be useful to bear in mind that human beings are apex predators. And I think of us as conscious predators, meaning we have a responsibility toward how we behave toward the rest of the planet. And that is a bit challenging. We're not doing a very good job of it right now, mostly. However, let's see what else we can see about these two animals and what they have to say to us. Hawk, watchful, all-seeing, messenger of divinity. The sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. This keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the bigger picture. When this card appears, fate has its eyes on you, and the winds are shifting. It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. The message should not be taken lightly. Though it may seem small or insignificant, it will eventually redirect your course. When in balance, sees clearly, intuitive. When out of balance, sees too much, suspicious. To bring into balance, a perspective shift. Interesting. Shark, directness, exposure, revealing true nature and desire. The shark is only dangerous when we don't acknowledge it. This card indicates that something big needs to be exposed. It's lurking in the depths and creating tension. Shark energy takes over us when we are hesitant to be honest, to be totally ourselves, or to say what we really want to say. It may be tempting to continue pretending nothing is wrong, but when shark energy is at play, we feel its presence encircling us. Ouch. The last time I felt something like this, it felt like something was trying to claw its way out from inside me. Not in a monster movie kind of way, but it was just an incredibly irritating feeling. It really put me on edge. You may be feeling that as well. All right, when in balance, intriguing, captivating, mysterious. When out of balance, sneaky and destructive. To bring into balance, honesty. I do think sharks are brutally honest. I'm not suggesting you be brutally honest, but at least be honest with yourself. So what is it that is underneath you, that intuition, this perhaps a message from the divine that you are trying to ignore, trying not to deal with, and it is going to keep bugging you until you do something about it. All right, so we have the tea leaf cards here to help you determine whether or not this is your reading, although it's probably pretty obvious at this point with the hawk and shark. But let's take a look. We have desk. Pay attention to your work. Grasshopper, situations in the balance that require careful handling. So something at work is a little bit challenging right now. But then we have the next row, barrel and goldfish. You feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. Goldfish, we have an increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. That's interesting. Leg came out right on top of barrel. So we have you stepping into a new experience in search of, I think, happiness, or we have the bluebird of happiness here. Or perhaps it is bringing you happiness. So that itching under the skin, that's something that is driving you somewhere to do something. I think it's right here. You feel something is lacking in your life. And that's what's driving you right now. Perhaps you have an intuition about it. A perspective shift would help you to help clarify, see more clearly. help you identify what new experience you should be stepping into or would be most beneficial, or perhaps you've already done it. I don't know why you'd be here if you had, but perhaps you have. All right. Now, looking at the tarot to help us determine why are you here. Perhaps you've been working for a while on yourself. Perhaps on determining or figuring out a way to do whatever this thing is you're being called to do, because your happiness depends on it. At least that's what you think. And now we have the sense of stuckness. We have the world in reverse. So you do want to follow through on whatever it is that is itching at you. But there may be a lack of clarity about that. Let's see. Or you're just feeling like you can't do it because of other responsibilities in your life. Well, that's a little bit of a problem. We have the Emperor in reverse. Perhaps you have some micromanaging issues. You feel like you have to be in control of everything before you can move ahead, which is never going to happen. It isn't about being in control of everything. It's about being consistent, disciplined, perhaps, but definitely having integrity and authenticity. Perhaps you feel that there's a risk to your role, but you are being called to a new role. And if you fight it, the Tower will happen. So the Tower is when your foundation, well, the life you have built shakes down to the ground because you have, you're continuing to try to build on something that doesn't have a good foundation. What you need to have a solid, stable tower doesn't exist. It may involve a romantic connection that is not healthy. With the Lovers here, you may feel very, very attached to this person, or it may simply be a big need for you to level up. You have to make a hard choice, or you have to make a hard choice, but you've been avoiding it. You don't want to do it. You would rather overindulge. There is the potential for a wish to be fulfilled, but not until this mess is cleaned up. So, with Judgment here, it seems you are being called to evolve, to become more than you were. Perhaps become something you never thought you would be. It was never on your radar. You may have had idea, a fairly toxic idea, honestly, about what a successful person looked like. And that has been what you've been working towards. But that idea is holding you back. And you are being called to be something different. You're trying to drown it out with substances or behaviors or habits that are, at least when done too much, not good for you, is not going to help. So, perhaps the tower has already happened. Perhaps it is going to happen. You will know. You probably already have a sense of that it's coming, if it hasn't happened already. Remember, the shark energy, when it is not acted on, is quite destructive. You are on the long and winding road of healing. Patience is needed, flexibility is needed. It is not a fast journey. Look to your inner guidance, not the external world. Look to your core values, your guiding light, your inner knowing, your true path. Clarity, hope, certainty, confidence, protection. You can find those things within you, and it can lead to a new beginning. A sudden increase. Yes, it's rabbits, so there's always an implication of reproduction, but it doesn't have to be that. It may be that there is a child involved, or it may simply, or not so simply, be you returning to yourself, to who you were as a child, because that was who you really were before layer upon layer of conditioning and programming and meeting societal expectations, family expectations. All that programming changed you into someone other. The shark is very true to themselves. And with the divine messenger of the hawk here, perhaps that is what you need to know. That it's time for a new beginning, and that new beginning involves a return to the self. There is a lot more going on than meets the eye. Perhaps inside you, perhaps in your life. It may be that buried memories are coming up. There's a lot more of you, to you, than you think right now. You probably define yourself very narrowly by your job or something. Let's say I'm a job. I'm this kind of. I work in this job, right? That's who I am. No, it's not who you are. That's how you make money. It's not who you are. Or you might say that you're a parent. Again, that's not who you are. That's something you do. So, you are being tempered. We have, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't believe you got both of these cards right next to each other. And the anvil. All right. So your life circumstances are very, very challenging right now. You feel like you got off to a false start. Perhaps a failure to launch. Rough start. Things have perhaps backfired. Problems, complicated circumstance. Everything's all tangled up. And it is tempering you. So when you take a piece of red hot metal from the fire and you put it on the anvil and you start pounding it with the hammer, shaping it, folding it over on itself, pounding it down again, and you do that, the more you do that, the stronger and more flexible the metal becomes. So it's, I suppose if metal had feelings, then it would be very painful. But We do have feelings, so it is very painful to go through this kind of thing. And it is, whatever it is that you're going through right now is changing you. It is changing how you see your life, and it may be a gift from the divine if you believe in that. And even if you don't, it's still an opportunity to develop more, to be strengthened, to become more flexible, more resilient, more authentic, to get to know yourself better, your own resolve, your sense of purpose. And perhaps, yes, it will connect you to the divine. Perhaps up to this point you have not thought much about that, and this may be driving you to do so, whatever the situation is. Now we have Fox, self-interest. The fox is capable of getting into and out of impossible situations. They can literally bounce from a standing position over a 4-foot fence. I've seen them do it. So, I would suggest you keep that in mind. They can be sneaky, sly, crafty, cunning, just like that shark energy we talked about. And I'm speaking as a former chicken keeper who had to do battle with foxes. I don't see them the way they are often portrayed as dishonest or selfish. They're really not. So yeah, I don't agree with that. But are they good at getting in and out of situations that you would think are impossible? Yes. Are they sneaky, stealthy, sly, crafty, cunning? Yes, they are. They have to be outwitted. You have to put some real work into it. So, definitely some challenge there. Oh, so perhaps fierceness is called for. Now, wolverines are interesting creatures because they get by on fierceness. They are known, of course, for their aggression, honestly. We have inner demons associated with this, which, if you have some aggression issues, I could definitely see that. They are very determined, fearless. They take on much bigger, seemingly stronger, more powerful foes, and they win through sheer determination. And they will not give up. They are fierce. They will just go and go and go and go. Which makes them a bit difficult to deal with. Now, I do think the inner demons is a factor here. This tree here says something about health. So, if something is off, a sense of an inner demon that will not let you go, but that may just be that intuitive spark that just will not let you go. And maybe you are like the fox trying to escape. A fox does not win against a wolverine, just so you know. I don't think there's a famous video online of a fox and a wolverine that hunt together. the fox goes to the wolverine's burrow and waits for him to come out, or I have no idea what the gender is of either one of these, but they work together, they fight together, they hunt together. They are friends. So perhaps instead of seeing this inner itch, for lack of a better word, as a problem, as something, an inner demon, perhaps you can make friends with it and learn to work with it, like the fox and the wolverine. Anyway, you should look that up online. It's fun. Now, we have man, you or the person on your mind. Not that anyone has come out. One of your cards, your tea leaf cards, suggested what? Money, love, or spirituality, I think. So lots of choices there. And perhaps you have a sense of karma, destiny, or fate acting in your life. Destiny being something that you are meant for, fate being something you can't avoid. Karma, simply the law of cause and effect. So, you may feel that the forces of the universe are in control of your life, that things are out of your hands. Perhaps you're having to deal with emotions you are not accustomed to. Perhaps you're having to calm your emotions, coming out on top of that wolverine. If you are someone who has not learned how to regulate your own emotions, it's probably past time you did that. No one else can really do that for you. It's not their job or responsibility, and it's not healthy to have someone else, or to hold someone else responsible for that when it's really your own stuff. There's a card that's almost come out for you a couple of times. Not yet. Or maybe not at all. Let's see. So, in the past, there has been some really dishonest behavior. Toxic, backstabbing, betrayal, deception. It may have involved jealousy, which is pretty much always toxic. So, something from the past. This is odd. Darkest before the dawn. Well, you did get the tower again, didn't you? So something really, really fell apart. And it may feel like a betrayal. Maybe it did involve betrayal. Maybe it did involve toxicity, backstabbing, silent treatment. But we have supportive friend, helpful, playful, faithful companion, perhaps a friendship that turns to love, perhaps a sibling, soulmate, peer, someone in the healing professions. That's the first time we have an indication of someone else. Communication. Yeah, you have the sense of things working against you, but persistence will pay off. New things on the horizon. Determined repetition, making dreams real. Be careful with repetition. So you don't want to, the definition of insanity, do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. But you do want to repeat something if you are learning a skill, if there's improvement every time. Especially, when we're talking about communication, building that kind of bridge takes practice and skill and repetition. And perhaps you're trying to do this with someone that you feel is a soulmate. What else do you need to bear in mind? I've already pulled plenty of cards, honestly. I don't like to pull too many cards. I've done half-hour readings on just one card, so pulling this many cards just seems silly to me. But when you have a collective, it's different. Wow. Falcon. Hawk and falcon. All right. Rising above. Ability, strategy, skill, focus, a transition, changes, higher self, third eye, far-reaching vision. So this one is not the messenger of the divine. Although we do have Ladybug now. Wishes coming true, a vibrant, abundant life. Possibly the birth of a daughter, it says. I don't usually say that when something like that comes out. I'm not here to predict the future. I'm here to help you figure yourself out. Your inner guidance system, I think it's coming online. Interesting. Welcome, alert, arrival. Someone is coming. A transition, perhaps. Opportunity knocks. We also have return, connect, choice, careful planning, visionary, firm foundations. Ooh, building right this time. Right? You had the tower come out twice, no less. So you do have to rebuild. You had the bridge, and this is right on top of the bridge. Maybe you're going to rebuild something with someone. Yep, going places. this time, maybe there's potential to get it right. Remember, thoughts become things. Careful planning, visionary, sorry. Firm foundations. Destiny. Remember what I said, destiny is what you are meant for, or what is meant for you. But it is going to be challenging to the social norms that you are accustomed to. It will call for you to be bold and fearless and unconventional. You'll have to think outside the box. I thought I had another card, but I can't see it. They do that sometimes, disappear on me and then show up much later. Your life is about to go off in a completely different direction. You need to rethink your priorities and take a different path. All right, that's interesting. Maybe it's simply a suggestion that it's time to get moving. Be careful, though. You don't want to fall into old patterns. You need to do something different this time. Your detour should not lead to this. Although you maybe feel like you're being forced into action. Be careful, don't do things the way you did in the past. All right, I think we're just getting repetitive now. Let's, I think I'll go with Healing Spirits for you. The Healing Spirits Oracle. Oops, I just dropped the cards. That's what fell out when I dropped them. It is time to move forward. Maybe that's why that whip came out. Be calm and keep going. Wow, everything is saying move. Interesting. Move, move, move. Well, all right. But do it differently this time. Don't do it the same ways you've done it in the past. Remember, that tower came down for a reason. This time, you want the fox and the wolverine to be friends and partners. Wishing you all the best. Till next time.